Hi, today I'm starting a series of videos about nutrition and running. And in this one I'm talking about running in the summer heat. Have you ever noticed that on a hot summer's day, it's really hard to get through one of your regular runs? And that may be because summer heat brings two extra challenges. The heat, obviously, and sometimes high humidity. High humidity, of course, isn't restricted to summer. But when heat and high humidity are combined, it makes running much more challenging. And that's generally because our body is struggling to regulate our internal temperature. One of the cooling mechanisms is our ability to sweat through pores in our skin, which allows warm water to move from the inside of our bodies to the outside surface of our skin. You've all experienced sweating to a lesser or greater degree. And the cooling effect of sweating is enhanced by evaporation, as the heat of our body converts the sweat to vapor. You can see this happening on very cool days where vapor is visible coming off our bodies. The hotter it gets, the more sweat is produced, and also the more intense the session. The more heat is generated internally, which has to be removed to prevent heat exhaustion. There's another cooling process called heat conduction, which cools the skin by virtue of temperature difference between the surrounding or ambient air and our skin. The bigger the difference between those two, the more effective the cooling effect. So as temperature difference gets smaller, the heat conduction effectively reduces. Of course, if the ambient temperature is hotter than the skin temperature, there's a heating rather than a cooling effect. Then there's humidity, which is a measure of how much moisture or water is being carried in the ambient air at a given temperature. And this is measured as a percentage relative humidity. A 0% would mean no water in the air, or 100% would mean there's a maximum amount of water being carried in the air. When there's high humidity, evaporation of sweat slows down. So there's less cooling effect, and so our bodies respond by generating more sweat. Now combine high heat and high humidity, and our bodies begin to struggle to cool down. And if our internal temperatures start to get too close to its maximum, our body's control system starts slowing or shutting down some of the heat generating process, such as muscle contraction. And that's why you'll find you're slower in the hot, humid conditions. So just remember that running in these conditions, our bodies require more water. More water for sweat and more water for energy production to keep us moving, because we're working harder. My number one tip is when you wake up in the morning is to drink 500 milliliters or 2 cups of water before doing anything else. And during the day, drink as much as 3 liters every day, more if you've been running. Starting my day with 500 mils of 2 cups of water before anything else has made a huge difference to my energy levels during the day. So make it a daily habit to drink a big glass of water when you first wake up. Next time I'll be chatting about electrolytes. Until then, leave a comment if you've noticed how much more challenging it is to run in hot and humid conditions, and tell us how you cope with the heat and/or humidity. Thanks for watching.